She met him with the lion-headed staff. Their battle lit up the night. Sparks flew. Blood splattered. The people watched in terror. Aguba struck Oleoma's arm, drawing blood. But her fury burned brighter. She broke his sword with her staff and struck him down. Before dying, he whispered, "You think this ends with me? The curse is older than your kingdom." As dawn broke, the battlefield was littered with the dead. Oleoma stood among them, bloodied but unbroken. But to truly understand how this moment came to be, we must return to the very beginning. In the quiet village of Umuozola, where palm trees whispered secrets to the wind, lived a young girl named Oleoma. Her skin was smooth and brown like honey, her eyes sparkled like the early morning dew, and her smile could brighten the darkest room. But the villagers never looked beyond her beauty. They only saw her as the daughter of Mama Nosu, a bitter woman known for shouting, gossiping, and cursing neighbors. Because of her mother's reputation, everyone avoided Oleoma like a disease. Men in the village who admired Oleoma from afar were warned by their mothers and elders. "Don't marry trouble," they said. "She has her mother's blood." Despite the rejection, Oleoma continued to show kindness. She fetched water for the elderly, cleaned the market square, and cared for sick children, even those whose parents spoke ill of her. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Oleoma heard a faint cry near the old, abandoned compound. The place was said to be cursed, haunted by restless spirits. Most would have run, but not Oleoma. She followed the cry and found a wounded old man lying on the ground, bleeding and moaning in pain. His leg was badly injured. Without a second thought, Oleoma tore her wrapper and tied the man's wound. Blood stained her hands and soaked the earth beneath her. She dragged him to her hut and hid him. She knew the villagers would accuse her of witchcraft if they found out, but her heart wouldn't let her leave the man to die. That night, after feeding the old man, she dreamt of her late grandmother, Mama Ezioko, a woman known to speak with spirits. In the dream, she stood in a forest where trees had eyes and mouths. "Oleoma," the old woman said, "your kindness is a light in this dark world. But danger is near. Stay strong, my child." When Oleoma woke up, the old man was gone, but a lion-headed staff lay beside the fire. By morning, the news had spread. Some claimed she was doing blood rituals. Others said she killed someone in her hut. The elders summoned her to the village square. Chief Okonko asked, "Is it true you hid a bloodied stranger in your hut?" Oleoma told the truth, but her words fell on suspicious ears. "You say your heart is pure," the chief said. "Then you must face the test of the spirits. Spend a night at Ohamiri Grove. If you survive, you are clean." It was a death sentence. Ohamiri Grove was feared even by hunters. But Oleoma agreed. She would not run from what she knew was right. Under a blood-red moon, Oleoma entered the dark grove with only a lamp and the lion-headed staff. The air was cold. The trees whispered. Owls watched her with glowing eyes. She knelt and prayed. Suddenly, the staff glowed, and a calm voice filled the air, "Fear not. Your light will lead many." The grove lit up with fireflies, and peace settled on her heart. In the morning, she returned alive and untouched. The villagers gasped. Before anyone could speak, the old man she had saved arrived, now wearing a royal robe. "I am Prince Afikando of Enari Kingdom," he announced. "Oleoma saved my life. She risked her name and safety. This girl is more royal than most." While the village cheered, Mama Nosu sulked in her hut. Her daughter's rising fame angered her. "How can this girl shine when I have lived in shadows?" she said. She visited a dark priestess in the forest. "Break her," she whispered. "Take away whatever is protecting her." The priestess smiled. "Even the purest light can be stained." That night, a dark mist crept into Oleoma's hut. She woke gasping, her chest heavy, her body weak. She clutched the lion-headed staff, and the mist vanished instantly. But the priestess had tasted her strength and weakness. As Oleoma danced, the earth beneath her feet began to burn. She stumbled, her vision blurred, and she collapsed before the crowd. Gasps filled the air. Some cried witchcraft. Others screamed for help. But a mysterious old woman rushed forward with herbs and chants. The old woman was called Mama Ginger. She healed Oleoma with herbs made from sacred roots. "Someone wants you dead," she whispered. That night, she gave Oleoma a gourd. "Drink only when the world turns upside down," she warned. "It holds your ancestors' tears." Prince Ifekandu began visiting Oleoma often. He was drawn not only to her beauty but her wisdom and courage. Whispers spread. A prince marrying Mama Nwosu's daughter. Elders frowned. It will bring curses. But the prince was not afraid. Ifekandu's uncle, Lord Njoku, hated the idea. He wanted his own daughter to marry the prince. "I will not let a girl of shame wear the crown," he said. He sent spies to Umuozola and began spreading lies about Oleoma, claiming she had seduced the prince using charms. One morning, while fetching water, Oleoma was attacked. Her pot broke. The attackers left a message: "Stay away from the palace." She picked up the pieces, her hands bleeding, but her spirit unbroken. "They can break pots," she whispered, "but not my spirit." Mama Nwosu fell ill and delirious. Oleoma found her weeping and burning old papers. Among the ashes, she found a diary. In it, she read secrets. Her mother was once a kind woman, who lost her way after betrayal from her lover, Oleoma's real father, a prince who denied them. Oleoma took the diary to Chief Okonkwo. The old man trembled. "This is true," he said. "Your father was Prince Jaideofor, now a blind priest." She went to find him. When he heard her voice and saw the staff she carried, he wept. "You are my light in old age," he said. Prince Jaideofor confessed his sins and gave Oleoma a sacred ring. "With this, the royal blood in you will never be questioned," he said. He asked her to forgive Mama Nwosu. "Pain made her bitter," he said. "But bitterness is a wound that grows when left unchecked." Lord Njoku sent hired warriors dressed as bandits to ambush Oleoma on her way to visit Prince Ifekandu. She fought back with her staff, but she was outnumbered. Just when all hope seemed lost, the staff glowed and released a blast of light, blinding the attackers. They fled in terror, thinking she was a spirit. Chief Okonkwo called a secret council with other wise elders. "We must protect this girl. Her life is key to our future," he said. But one of the elders was a spy for Lord Njoku. That night, a letter revealing the council's plans was sent to the palace. Prince Ifekandu proposed marriage to Oleoma in front of the entire village. "You are my queen," he declared. But before the celebrations could begin, a royal guard arrived with a message from the king. Ifekandu was to return home immediately or forfeit his right to the throne. Mama Nwosu sat by the fire and cried. "I tried to ruin you because I feared you would leave me behind," she confessed. Oleoma forgave her. "You are my mother," she said. "Even thorns grow from the same soil as roses." At the palace, the king scolded his son. "Marry a noble girl or lose everything," he warned. "That village girl is trouble." But Ifekandu stood firm. "Then I choose love over the throne," he said. The king, shaken, called for Lord Njoku. Lord Njoku sent a deadly assassin, Olum, to kill Oleoma quietly. Olum posed as a healer and entered the village during a stormy night. But Mama Ginger sensed something was wrong. She confronted Olum, and a fierce battle broke out in the dark. Olum escaped, but injured. Mama Ginger gathered elders and made them take a blood oath to protect Oleoma. "She is no longer just a girl. She is our destiny." They formed a secret guard called the Circle of Light. Every night, they stood watch around her hut. Olioma had a terrible dream. Her village was on fire, and she saw Lord Njoku sitting on a throne made of skulls. She woke up screaming, only to find a real fire burning in the yam barn. It was her son. The villagers began to fear her again. Lord Njoku arrived with guards and accused Olioma of being a witch and a destroyer of the peace. He demanded her execution. The villagers were divided. Some wanted her dead. Others shouted for justice. Chief Okonkwo called for a final trial. At the trial, Olioma drank from the god Mama Jinja gave her. Instantly, visions of truth surrounded the square. Everyone saw Njoku's evil deeds. The people fell to their knees. Njoku fled in shame, but he swore revenge with his last breath before vanishing into the forest with ancestral spirit in form of wolf watching him. After the trial, Olioma returned the lion-headed staff to Mama Jinja for safekeeping. But the staff refused to leave her. It burned hot in anyone else's hands. "It has chosen you," Mama Jinja said. "You are no longer just a girl of prophecy. You are becoming the prophecy." Days later, a royal messenger arrived with a scroll. It was an invitation to the palace of Nri. Prince Ifikando wanted to present Olioma to the king's council and plead her case before all noble families. In Nri, noble women sneered at her village accent and humble clothing. "A bush girl cannot be queen," one spat. But when Olioma spoke of justice and love, some elders nodded. One old woman whispered, "There is spirit in her words." Lord Njoku returned, this time claiming Olioma had enchanted the prince. "She is a snake hiding under a rose," he declared. But the council demanded proof. Njoku brought a dark priestess who accused Olioma of visiting forbidden shrines. To defend herself, Olioma requested to visit the Shrine of Echoes. It was a sacred place where truth was revealed through spirit echoes. Inside, she knelt. The spirits showed her healing, saving lives, and forgiving enemies. The council watched in awe. That evening, the Queen Mother summoned Olioma privately. "Many fear you," she said. "But I see what my son sees, a heart that heals." She gave Olioma a royal pendant. "This will protect you. And when the time comes, wear it before the throne." Njoku's priestess, furious at her failure, used dark water to summon a mirror demon. "Show me her weakness," she commanded. The mirror showed Olioma's childhood pain, loneliness, rejection, and her mother's cruelty. "She hides her wounds with smiles," the demon said. Njoku sent Olioma a letter, disguised as a blessing, soaked in slow-acting poison. She read it and felt dizzy for days. Mama Jinja recognized the signs and fed her ashes of the spirit plant. "You have enemies who fear your light," she warned. To prove her worth, the king ordered a test. Olioma was to walk barefoot across a line of burning coal, carrying water to a sacred pot. She walked slowly, her feet blistering. But the water did not spill. The pot glowed, and the fire turned blue. The crowd bowed in awe. The king had seen enough. He announced Olioma and Ifikando's betrothal. The village rejoiced. Dancers beat drums through the night. But Njoku vanished. He went north, gathering outcasts, rebels, and banished warriors to raise an army in secret. Olioma began to dream of a river of blood running through Umuozola. In it, she saw faces of people she loved, drowning. She wept and prayed. Mama Jinja said, "A great storm is coming. You must decide what kind of queen you will be." A bell rang in the middle of the night, an ancient sign of danger. The palace guards found the bell tower painted with blood. Written in red, "The crown will fall. The fire girl must burn." The king declared martial watch. War was near. Njoku returned with a blood army of men marked with fire tattoos, chanting curses. They stormed border villages, burning crops. The king called his war council. Olioma stood tall. "Let me lead the defense," she said. "I know the heart of fear." Oleoma led warriors to Yuk River. She fought beside Ifikando, her staff glowing like the sun. Her voice rallied even the weakest. When Njoku appeared, their staffs clashed. Sparks flew. "I will erase your name from the earth," he spat. Back in Umuozola, Momo Nwosu saw Njoku's men approaching. She gathered women, elders, and children into the shrine for safety. She stood alone in the path, holding a cooking staff. "You will not touch my daughter's people," she said, and was struck down. As her blood touched the earth, a roar echoed. From the shrine door, a lion made of fire and spirit leapt, scattering Njoku's men. Momo Nwosu's spirit rose and sat beside the lion. "I was broken," she said, "but my love was never lost." In a final clash, Oleoma struck Njoku's chest. His staff snapped. "You cannot kill me," he laughed. "I am already cursed." Then the lion-headed staff burned blue, and Njoku turned to ashes. The wind scattered his dust. Silence fell. With Njoku gone, the people celebrated. The king embraced Oleoma. "You are queen by right of fire, love, and truth," he said. Ifikando placed the ring on her finger. Drums echoed across kingdoms. The war had ended, but a new chapter was beginning. Oleoma was crowned queen of Nri beside Prince Ifikando. Her mother's spirit was smiling in the smoke of incense. The lion-headed staff rested in her hand. Children sang songs of the village girl who rose beyond shame and fire. Years passed. Peace reigned. Oleoma became known as the Golden Queen. Her justice was firm, her heart open. She gave birth to twin daughters, Nkiru and Ifunanya. The people believed they were the spirit children of balance and courage. Though peace reigned, whispers of unrest came from the southern provinces. Raiders had begun attacking trade routes. Oleoma sent scouts to investigate. They returned with tales of a masked warlord called Oba Ekeji, claiming to be Njoku reborn. Oba Ekeji wore a mask made of bone and fire. His army was silent but deadly. Villages vanished in the night. Oleoma visited a shrine and saw visions of an ancient curse returning. "The fire may burn again if we do not act," the spirits warned. Nkiru and Ifunanya, now 10, began having the same dream, a man with burning eyes standing at the gates of Nri. They awoke screaming. Oleoma held them close. "Your dreams are gifts," she said. "We must listen to them." Ifikando discovered an old tunnel beneath the palace, once used by rebels. Inside were marks matching the bone mask of Oba Ekeji. They realized the warlord had spies within the palace. Guards were changed. Trust was tested. A hunter named Ikin returned to the village with a tale. He had seen Oba Ekeji drinking blood from a skull under a red moon. He presented an arrow soaked in ash. "This can pierce his curse," he said. "But it must be fired by the chosen hand." Oleoma held the arrow. It glowed in her hand but burned anyone else. Mama Ginger appeared in a dream and said, "Your fire must strike the heart of darkness." The people began to prepare for war once more. This time, Oleoma said, "We end the curse forever." The queen led a small team into the dead forest where Oba Ekeji was last seen. Shadows whispered lies. The trees bled sap. They found an altar of bones and a torn banner from Umuozola. "He is trying to erase our story," Oleoma said. One of the counselors, Lord Anika, was found feeding messages to Oba Ekeji. When confronted, he screamed, "Njoku will rise again." He was executed at dawn. His blood was offered to cleanse the court of treachery. Oba Ekeji marched on Nri. Fireballs rained from the sky. Oleoma stood at the palace gates with her daughters behind her. "If we fall," she said, "we fall with honor." The staff glowed. The people rallied. As the battle raged, Oleoma climbed the tower and aimed the arrow of truth at Oba Ekeji. "For every soul you took," she whispered. The arrow struck his heart. He screamed as fire consumed him. The mask cracked. Underneath was Njoku's twisted son. Njoku's twisted son, Ekajiba, fell to the ground, writhing in pain. As fire consumed his body, he shouted a curse, "Your daughters will never wear the crown." His voice echoed through the skies before he vanished in a burst of blood and ash. Olioma clutched her daughters, trembling but defiant. The palace walls trembled days after the battle. A long crack split the throne of Enari in two. Elders murmured that the throne no longer recognized peace. Olioma summoned the royal builders and spirit interpreters. "We must rebuild with truth, not just stone," she said. To lift the final part of Ekajiba's curse, the twins had to undergo the ancient trial of ancestors. They were taken to the Cave of Bones. Inside, ancestral voices asked them riddles, tested their courage, and showed them visions of their mother's pain and sacrifice. Both girls emerged with glowing symbols on their foreheads, the mark of the twin flame. They now shared a bond deeper than blood. But this also meant they could feel each other's pain. "Whatever one suffers, the other will carry," said the ancestral voice. The kingdom of Enara was rebuilding, but whispers of rebellion returned from the western regions. A warlord named Aguba claimed the throne was weakened. Olioma sent a peace delegation, but Aguba returned their leader's head in a box of sand. "Let the queen feel the dust of death," his message read. Aguba led a cavalry known as the Blood Riders, soldiers who drank the blood of their enemies and wore chains of bone. Olioma prepared her daughters for the possibility of war. "Leadership is not a crown," she told them. "It is a wound we wear with grace." Mama Ginger returned from a long journey with a scroll written in ancient ink. "The Flame Twins are destined for something greater," she warned. The scroll foretold that only one of the twins would survive if they both sought the throne. A heartbreaking path lay ahead. Nkiru, the elder twin, made a secret vow. She would not fight her sister. She would protect Ifinanya's future even at her own cost. She began learning from warriors and spies instead of royal tutors. "If I cannot wear the crown, I will defend it," she whispered. Aguba's men ambushed a convoy of royal guards in the northern hills. It was a trap meant to lure Olioma into battle. But Ifukando led the counterattack himself and captured Aguba's second-in-command. He was brought to Enari bound in chains. The captured man had a map carved into his back, Aguba's war map. It revealed plans to attack during the Festival of New Moons. Olioma stood on the palace walls, holding the lion-headed staff. "Let them come," she said. "They will meet the wrath of a mother and a queen." The Festival of New Moons began with silence instead of music. Families stayed indoors. Warriors circled the palace walls. At midnight, drums began to beat, not from the palace, but from the forest. Aguba's army had arrived. Flaming arrows rained from the trees. The gates of Enari shook under the weight of battering rams. The Blood Riders howled like wolves. But the palace guards, led by Ifukando and Nkiru, held the line. "Let them taste our courage," she shouted. Ifunanya collapsed during battle, her eyes glowing white. She saw a vision. Aguba had a secret passage through the western gate. She rushed to the throne room and warned her mother. Olioma sent riders to block the passage just in time. Aguba himself entered the battlefield, wearing a mask made of gold and bone. He challenged Olioma to single combat, but in a battle like this, only one will rise, and one will fall. This battle is about to shake everything. Don't miss what happens next. Subscribe, comment, like, share, and most importantly turn on notifications. Part 2 is coming very soon. To be continued.